Good day, guys. Thanks for visiting That Journal Guy. My name is Richard, and today is going to be an October check-in for my journal as well as for myself. It's been kind of a busy month for October. Now that we've passed the middle of the month, I'm sort of seeing whether or not in the last couple of weeks my new spreads have been working well for me, and I've been trying to be a little adventurous and try to do some doodling, which doesn't sound very adventurous, but for somebody who's not naturally artistically inclined with the pen or paper, as far as drawing and stuff like that. It was a little bit out of my comfort zone to try to share any kind of doodling with you guys, and it was well received on my Instagram and Facebook. So I'll share with you the way those are looking, as well as some new trackers that I'm doing for my video games and collecting, as I've started collecting some Hot Wheels cars, and I wanted to see if my journal can help me keep track of some of the things that I've been collecting. But I also wanted to check in with you guys to sort of see how, during this unprecedented time of this pandemic, how you guys are dealing with things. I know that all across the world, everyone's dealing with it at certain different levels, whether it's constant outbreaks or record number of cases, or maybe it's very slow in your country. But I pray that that's really the case for you guys. Here in Canada, in Manitoba, for me, we are on a little bit of a rise in daily cases in our province. So it's been kind of disheartening and a little bit discouraging, but it's also, not without hope. All we can really do, I mean, despite the numbers and what people are reporting on the news and stuff like that, is for us to do our part. And I won't advocate to you how that means to you, but for us, it's just, the distancing, keeping our hands sanitized, wearing our masks right now. That's a mandatory thing in Manitoba. But I hope that everyone is doing their part to stay safe and be kind to others, and show their kindness to others by doing these things that the different health departments are encouraging us as citizens to do, right? So I don't want to get into the theories or the conspiracy theorists or anything like that. I don't really subscribe to anything like that. All I feel is that I need to do my part. So I hope that you will too. The bottom denominator, I think, for all of us is to be kind to one another, but that starts by being kind to one's self. And for me, part of that is being in my journal to record some of the good things that are happening in my life, to remind me that, despite these unprecedented times, that there is a silver lining in our days, that we still have blessings to count and things to pour into that are constructive and worthwhile, versus brooding and stewing over things that are way out of our control. Other people's actions and how they might be affecting the numbers and all that kind of stuff. Those things that we all get wrapped up into because of the news and media and being sort of drowning in all this information. I hope that you're finding a center through this all to sort of get through day at a time, week at a time, and hopefully your journal is part of that solution. I know that it is for me. So I'm going to share with you how things have been looking in my journal, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. And let's go onto my tabletop, as we always do, to sort of take a closer look at the progress I've been making so far. Okay, guys, so we have our October 1st page here, as well as the rest of my journal here. So as I mentioned before, I was trying something different in the month of September when I tried to do a daily line for each category of my Bujo badges. And so I had a separate log for each of my categories that I would normally do. So spending, housekeeping, my eating, etc. So work, playtime, self-care, family time. So, and my Bujo time put into my journal. So obviously it didn't really work out very well. And I had some other trackers for my marketplace and my movie watching, my gaming, my NHL tracker page that I still never used. And then, playing with layouts, right? So then I changed it up to this more a condensed version of all those pages, putting them into categories on each line, and then trying to put all of the entries for a certain category on each line, right? So the only problem that I had with this, I found out that it was a little bit too compressed, and I had too much space for notes and not enough notes to put in, and I could easily expand these to take advantage of my logging style. So for October, I did manage to find that balance, as I mentioned in my last video. So the first few pages are more of a transition from September to the actual full week of October, and you can sort of see how my Bujo badge at a glance page has been shaping up. You can sort of see all the rainbows of dots happening really well here. So every time I give myself a badge, I'll put a dot here, and all I have to do is reference the page in question, and you can sort of see how things are shaping up. So for the first week in October, I did start using my Avengers stickers again, and I have to say that I was very, very pleased to get back into, writing around stickers, having the stickers be my embellishment, and be sort of back to the roots of my journaling with a slightly different layout, right? So you can sort of see that the notes section at the bottom, though it doesn't even have a title, is implied at the bottom as my scribble area. I do have a quotes section up top, as well as my weather and stuff like that. So I still like doing that. I still like keeping track of the weather every day. I still like having encouraging quotes at the top of my page, or at least somewhere on the page for a daily. The one thing I'm missing from my original layouts way back in March and April, I'm missing my gratitude line. So I'm wondering whether or not I should put that at the bottom, or if I should make a purposeful area somewhere. Since my notes section isn't really being used that much, maybe I should make a gratitude line up here, or maybe push this down for November and make space for both a quote as well as gratitude at the top, and then my Bujo badges on the bottom. We'll see. So that's how the first week in October seemed to work. Although on the 7th of October, I started doing this doodling, and I don't know what possessed me to do it. I was just up late finishing this entry, and you know what? I didn't have any notes, so I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll just try a doodle. And the bottom of my thing here, it's a leaf doodle, and basically based on a leaf doodle font that I saw online. And so all of these little attempts at doodling were just that. Now it really does clash a little bit, this fall doodling thing, with the Avengers. So it would have been neat to sort of do some actual Avengers doodles, but I mean, I'm just not that great yet. For the next page on the 8th, I actually started doing some potted doodles, so potted plants and stuff like that. And I'm actually finding that I'm not very original when it comes to doodling. I'm copying these doodles. I'm using a visual reference to give me an idea, and I'm basically trying to copy what that doodle looked like online. So it's interesting for me to wrestle with doodling, because I'm finding that I'm actually better than I thought I would be, but I'm not original. Like, I don't have a natural inclination to sort of do something from scratch. So it's an interesting problem to have. But I love that I'm discovering that about myself, that one, I can actually doodle fairly well, but two, I have to use a visual reference to be able to actually do a doodle. So I didn't think that would even be a thing for me, but I mean, it's as one of my my Instagram followers said, it's really refreshing to see me try to be more creative, and doing the doodling is definitely conducive to that. As you down at the bottom here, I didn't have a doodling line on the 9th because I actually had to make some notes on some online selling that I was doing. But then I tried to do this owl doodle thing. I don't think it worked out as well as the leaves or the potted plants, but I'm now sort of exploring the limitations of my skills, as far as it doesn't seem like I can actually doodle without sketching it in, and that's what I did here. It was straight pen, no penciling. So that was an interesting revelation there. But you can also sort of see how some busy days during the week sort of lend themselves to a fuller page. But when it comes to the weekend, suddenly I'm not as busy, although I'm getting some things done that I'm not getting done during the week. Like, there's no household stuff I managed to get to on Thursday. On Saturday, I managed to do a lot of catch up, but even that doesn't require a lot of space. So I'm wondering whether or not this layout is way too spread out, and it makes the page look like it's not finished. And it's more of a critical thing for myself. It's not that it's not working. It's just more of like I liked my pages being really full, and sometimes that meant some big embellishments, but most of the time it actually meant a lot of text. And what I kind of miss from my original journaling efforts in March, April, May, was it being a diary style, linear kind of entries, right? So although this is really nice to sort of see at a glance how much time I put into each category, not putting a lot of stuff in any category really lends itself to an empty kind of page. So at a glance, it almost looks unfinished. But this was a finished page. It's just I didn't have a lot of entries. And it also means a lot of wasted space that I could have used to start a next day or something else. So for November, I might actually be revising that. You can sort of see here, Monday was a really full day for stuff. And here I am actually trying to learn how to do Mandalorian and Clone Trooper doodles. They're not that great, but this is my first attempt at doing doodles with penciling, followed by, gel pen to do the outlines, and then actually using some super tips to add color. So although these are Mandalorian style helmets, this is actually based on one of the characters in Mandalorian. And then I actually started expanding this design to do the more Clone Trooper, Stormtrooper style that I'm used to. This is my geek doodling, and this is what more I want, something more that I want to explore as I go further into October. You'll notice also that my stickers stopped after the 10th, because I wanted to sort of see what I could do without the stickers. And my intention is to sort of start filling this up with doodles. So I haven't doodled since the 11th. That's actually a really neat thing to sort of be able to do with this particular layout, is that I can also sort of see when I was sort of brave enough to try some things. So the page really starts acting more multifunctional. Not only can I also give myself Bujo badges knowing that I can plan ahead for certain things during the week, I can also sort of see artistic endeavors and trying to sort of see progress, and when I actually tried to do stuff. So this layout does seem to work really well, but I really do miss the compressed kind of look, especially with, like, here, Sunday I didn't actually do any household stuff. Sunday I didn't actually do any Bujo stuff. This is all catch up from the next day. And so with all this wasted, unutilized space, it makes me feel like, oh, I could do so much more with that empty space. So we'll sort of see what November is going to look like. So yeah, for the week, just this past week, you can sort of see how busy things have been. But again, no doodling. I just never got around to it. And you can sort of see that this past weekend, I still have to finish. I've shared, there's a thread that got started on our Facebook journaling groups saying, some people are having some troubles keeping up with their journals. And I've sort of mentioned that one of the things that is conducive to succeeding in our journals is to find a system that actually works and is easy to keep up with. And although this is actually a fairly easy way to keep up with, now the output, the end result, is not quite what I would want as an ideal end result, is because I don't want all that wasted space. I want to use that space for something. So that's going to be probably a change up for November. So yeah, you can sort of see that my pages for the coming week haven't been filled in. I haven't started filling in the circles for the rest of the week, but I will as the week wears on. So all of my pages for October have been, I have to line these up too. So I have to start splitting up put the divider lines on my October 30 and 31st pages. Okay, so onto my video game logs. This has been filling up nicely. This is more of a linear entry, so every time I play the game in a certain class, I'll put a date followed by the points that I've accumulated, as well as a ranking if my ranking goes up for each category of characters. But now that I've been exploring a lot of different characters in a particular game, I've been trying to expand this. I'm finding that this linear layout is not working well, because now I have to start little mini categories for some special characters, and my space is not being utilized very well. So I have to sort of find a more optimized way to be able to utilize the page as well. So the video game logs are doing all right. I think that this linear entry is good for utilizing space, but this is a case where it's just a little bit cluttered and it's hard for me to see the daily entries between days. I'm not sure how I should split that up. Maybe I should start introducing color for each date so that I can sort of see a day's entry even if it's all linear, or I'm not sure. Something's got to change on this to make it a little bit more aesthetic pleasing for me. My Minecraft, I haven't really been doing anything. Because I've been doodling, I added some doodles to my movies and shows page. Just again, some doodling icons that I sort of saw online with the clipboard there, as well as a film strip. Mixing up just my regular Dollarama gel pen with some white gel pen, the Jelly Rolls. So this log has been working pretty well. And let's see here. I've got my book tracker. This is something new. I've been collecting all kinds of thrift store books, and I want to encourage myself to actually read them. You know, I don't know if you're a thrift store person like me, but I love looking for bargains and I love accumulating cheap books because they're so cheap. But the only problem with that is that there's a lot of clutter and there's also a lot of unread books. So this is just a handful of the books that I've purchased. These are all Star Trek books. So I counted I found the last pages, found out how many chapters were in each, and if there was an epilogue at the end, and I put boxes for every chapter. So I've numbered the chapters. This is a really easy book tracker. So I've just got a title with a series of boxes, and they're all numbered 1 to whatever chapter is at the end. So it's a simple tracker, but I mean, I like that I added a little bit of color and I put my own book doodles, or tried to, at the top here. Again, another video game log, and this is my latest tracker. I did mention I've started collecting Hot Wheels, and I've got 15 of them so far. This is the 2020 series, and there's 250 cars in the series. I'm not collecting every one of them, but I do want to see if I can easily keep track of it in here. And the reason why I want to put it in here, it's not practical for bringing it with me. I have actually a spreadsheet on my phone that has these numbers filled in so that I know at a glance on my phone, oh, I've already got number X of 250. I don't get that one, but I do want to get this one or whatever. But this is a nice visual way to sort of see how many cars I've been accumulating and whether or not I'm making headway on the series or not. I'm actually going to put a Matchbox tracker underneath here, and then I might be using this page for other notes regarding the cars. The reason why I'm not sure why I started doing Hot Wheels collecting, but I've been really intrigued by the old style cars. So I've been really enjoying sort of collecting and finding old style muscle cars and old cruiser cars that people used to drive in the 50s and 60s. They're turned into Hot Wheels or Matchbox cars. So I started collecting them, and I wanted to use my journal as a means to record learning moments about each of these cars. So I'm not just sort of collecting them willy-nilly. I'm actually being very picky about certain ones. But I want to sort of keep track of it and sort of visually see how many cars I've accumulated as I continue to collect cars with my son. So yeah, that is my flip through and check-in for October. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, if you did enjoy this, please hit like and subscribe to the channel and keep up with me so that when new content is uploaded, the notification bell will notify you right away when things are uploaded. So yeah, that is my current endeavor for October. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Give yourself some time to keep up with your Bujo, whatever that means, and take care of yourselves out here during these unprecedented times. I hope you guys are well, be kind to one another, and journal on, as I always say. Try to have a fabulous day, and we'll see you in the next video. See you later, guys.